Okay, so I want to show you how to draft a floor plan using some of the basic steps that you've been taught thus far. Basically, when we're doing floor plans, you need to think of it in terms of pure geometry. It's all rectangles, circles, or a combination thereof. So when we're thinking in terms of AutoCAD, we need to think in terms of boiling things down to a series of shapes. And so, once again, going with the theme of repetition, I am going to share my screen with you, and we're going to mock up a small house. So that way, going forward, you have an idea of how you approach this as I'm drinking my morning coffee. All right, so I'm going to start with a rectangle command. All right. And I'm going to say rectangle. I click on the screen, D, enter. I want 30 feet, enter by 15 feet, enter. All right, so I've got that. Now I'm going to do another, and then I click on the screen to anchor it. If I do not anchor it on the screen, like if I started another command, it would disappear. So I want to do another one. I'm going to right click to repeat. I'm going to click on the screen, D, enter, and I want this to be, I think it's 20 feet, enter by 25 feet, enter. Okay, and I'm going to click on the screen. So I'm going to move. Oops. Escape. Move. Select what I want to move. I'm going to select my midpoint, and I'm going to snap it right there. Now, your snaps, remember, are down here. If I click here and I right click, this tells me everything that I have selected on my snaps. If it looks good to me, I have the setup that I want, I could just hit escape and it goes away. So for this particular application, I am actually going to move this over a little bit. So move. Right about there's good. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to be sure that I have this centered on this space. So I'm going to use my mirror command. I can either click here or I can type in mirror. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to select what I want to mirror, right click. I am going to make sure my snaps are on. Hello. Why are you not working for me? Okay, so mirror. It's having a moment. Mirror. Oh, let's just type it then. Mirror. I think my computer needs coffee too. Okay, so I select my midpoint. I pull up. I click on the screen. It asks me if I want to erase my source. No, so I'm just going to right click, and that completes that action. All right, so basically I just have a combination of rectangles here. But here in a bit, it's going to make sense what I'm intending. Okay, so I want to add another rectangle right here. And I'm going to say D, enter. And I want this to be, let's see, well, give me 1 minute. I actually want to come in and I want to get a measurement of from here to here is what, 14 feet, 10 inches. Okay, so I'm going to do a rectangle, snap in the corner. I'm going to pull down and I'm going to say D, enter. So I want it to be 14 feet, 10 inches, enter, and then I'm going to make it 8 feet, enter. Oops, and it's being persnickety. Rectangle. Oh, God, I need more coffee. Okay, so D for enter, 14 feet, 10 inches, enter, 8 feet, enter. There we go. All right, so that looks pretty good. And then I click on the screen to make it anchor. This little hand, I'm going to pan over so that way I can have a better idea of what I'm dealing with. All right, so right now, I'm going to add some thickness to this. This is just kind of a basic layout right now. So I'm going to do an offset, this icon right here, offset. And for some reason, my icons are giving me a hard time this morning, and I want to do an 8-inch enter. All right, so and then right click. Now, one of the things I want to look at is I want to look at this measurement right here. 5 feet. Okay, that's good. I can make that work. Because eventually that is going to become a corridor when I am done. So right now, I've got this offset. That works. But now I don't want this necessarily to be all rectangles. So I'm going to highlight the entire object. I'm going to click X, enter, and it's going to explode. So now instead of it just being rectangles, they're individual lines. So what that enables me to do for like right here, delete, I want to extend these lines to right here. I want to trim between here and here. Okay, that's going to open that up. And then I'm going to come, let's see, I've got doubles here. I can get rid of this, delete that. Okay, and I can go extend from there to there. Okay, and I want to extend from there to here, same thing, right here. Okay, and then I want to trim between here and here. Get rid of all that. Okay. Oops. Okay, so there's a command called a fillet. This right here is a fillet command, so I'm going to use that. Click that, and it comes up, you know, fillet, select first object, second object. It's fine the way it's set up. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. This is a great tool for if I'm trying to get my edges to match up rather than having to trim everything, but look how nice and clean that is. Now, you'll notice that this is going to be a wall eventually, and it is thicker. That is actually going to be a plumbing wall, so I left that thicker intentionally because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to set up a bathroom on this side, and I'm going to be setting up a laundry space on this side. So I'm going to utilize that as a plumbing wall. So I made it thicker for a reason. Okay, so over here, right now, what I'm going to do is I am going to divide this space. Okay, and I'm going to make a Jack and Jill bathroom inside this space. So part of what I need to do is I want to give myself at least 6 feet of width. So I'm going to actually give myself 6 feet of width. So I divide the spaces in two, and now I'm going to do an offset 6 feet, enter. Oops, that's wrong. Should have made it 3 feet. Delete. So offset 3 feet, enter. That's better. All right, and I am going to get rid of that middle section. Now I'm going to offset 4 feet, enter. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. That's good. So I'm just analyzing it real quick, so please give me just a moment. All right, so I want to offset, and I want to do a 3.5 foot offset right here. I want to do the same thing over here. Okay. So I've got this now. Now, what I want to do is, it looks like a basic grid. I've actually kind of mapped this out a little bit already. I want to offset again, O inner, and I want it to be 4 feet inner. Okay. All right. So this is going to make sense in a minute as I start carving up this space. All right. So first of all, let's clean up a little bit. So trim, and I'm going to trim between these two lines. Get rid of all that. Get rid of all that. Right click. Okay, and then I'm going to trim again. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to get my basic walls into this space. So I'm going to offset, and these are going to be 5-inch walls. Exterior walls are 8 inches thick. Interior walls are 5 inches thick. Okay, so there's that. All right, now I'm going to do my fillet command. So I showed you where it is over here, except I can also enter an F enter for fillet. Okay, right click if I want to repeat. That's not the right one. That looks pretty good. There we go. So that cleans that up a bit. Now, all right, this I'm going to make into a shower. So for right now, I am going to draw an X through it. As we go, I will show you how I show a shower door inside this space. But for right now, I'm using that X just to demarcate that that's what I'm intending on putting there. Okay, so I'm going to want to put barn doors on either side of this Jack and Jill bathroom. So what I am going to do is I am going to go ahead and make a doorway in either one of these locations. So let's do extend. Oops. Okay, and then I want to offset 2 foot 6 inches. Okay, so that's going to be big enough for my doorway. So what I want to do is I want to trim between these locations, excuse me, and I will make barn doors. Eventually I'll show you how I do that, but right now I'm just laying out my space. So, and then right now what I can get rid of is this. Oops, undo. U enter is undo, and I actually want to trim between here and do that. Okay, so now I have a setup where I want to have my vanities. So I want to offset 2 feet inner. There we go. And I want to take a look at this space because I may actually need to make this larger. 2 feet. If I've got 2 bodies back to back, that's not going to work. So actually, I'm going to make this unit larger. So I'll show you how I actually do that. Okay, so I've got 2 foot of clearance here. I don't really want to make these bedrooms too much smaller. If I do, I won't have much room for closets or anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make my plan larger. So I want to go 2 feet this way, so that way I can integrate a bigger floor plan into the bathroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an offset, 2 feet inner, snap that out, okay, I'm going to hit move, shift that up, okay, and one I'm going to do, delete, get rid of that, I'm going to get rid of that line. Okay, so this is still in the right location. Zoom in. So I want to extend. Missed one. There you go. All right. So I want to offset again, 2 feet there. Excuse me. All right. And I want to trim this out. So trim. Come on. Trim between here. And then actually extend from here to there. All right, so I'm going to pan out so you can see what I just did. All right, I need to extend up here to clean this up. Draw a window that just selects everything, and then I can just choose what I need to extend, cleans that up. So if you're looking at your plan and you made a mistake, like I did, I'm human. Notice that what I did is I offsetted to account for that mistake, and I shifted the walls up to where they needed to be. What that did is that gave me 4 feet of space right here so 2 people can stand back to back at a vanity, and there's enough room for their bodies. If I get too tight, what's the point of having a Jack and Jill bathroom if it can't serve 2 people at the same time? So that's the intent of it. What I'm doing is a fairly small home. This home is going to be approximately 1,000 square feet, so it's not a big space. But the intent is for it to function extremely well. So one of the reasons why I'm laying it out the way I am is the Jack and Jill bathroom actually, it serves 2 people, but the other idea behind it is that this serves as a buffer between these 2 bedrooms. So so there's some additional privacy as a result. Okay, so I'm going to save. It's always a good idea to get in the habit of saving as you go. I want to pause. Okay. Oops. Okay. Well, let me go back to my screen share. All right, there we go. So this is starting to take shape a little bit now. Now what I need to do is I've got a real basic layout over here. One of the things I'm missing is a doorway. So to maximize the space over here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a doorway in this space. So offset, and I want to do about a 3-inch inner. And then I want to offset again, 2 foot 6 inches inner. Okay, I'm going to trim. Notice how when you're hovering over space that you're about to trim, that little X shows up. So you can use that to kind of guide you a little bit. And then actually I need to trim this one little section right here. Okay, so that's cleaned up pretty good. Now, I need to change this X because it was distorted when I moved the wall. Okay, I'm going to keep that there for right now. Part of what I do want to do, this little line right here, this icon is a center line. So I'm actually going to use that center line between here and here, snapping a center line, and I'm going to do the same thing from there and there. And I'm going to do it again between here and here. I'm going to do it again between here and here. And then I'm going to also put one between here and here. Okay. Here in a few minutes, you will see why I'm doing this, because since I'm here, and also so that way you can see how I kind of line things up. I'm snapping these center lines because that's actually going to be the location of my plumbing. And so I want to just go ahead and get it there. Boom, it's done. I don't have to worry about it. So for right now, I'm going to shift my focus over to this other side, and I'm going to offset. I want this bathroom at least, well, we probably want to do about, I did 6 feet over here and I had to increase it by 2 feet. So I'm actually going to wind up doing the same sort of application over here. So, except this is going to be a master bath. So I want to escape out of there, offset 8 feet inner. Nope, I think that came up 8 inches. So offset 8 feet inner. All right, and then I want to offset again, that's 5 inches inner. Okay. I want to extend from here to there. Okay. Now I want to extend these. So what I'm doing right now is this area through here is going to be my main living space. I'm using these hallways and the bathroom to create a more private setting in the master suite. These are what are called buffer zones. So the way that I'm laying things out is this is going to be a utility room. This is going to be a bathroom. You got a hallway here. And this is going to be the master suite back here. And I'm going to have to modify this, but I have a basic layout right now. This right here is actually going to be a courtyard that allows light into all these spaces. One of the things that I'm trying to design is I'm trying to design an energy efficient home that is self-sustaining. Neil has asked me to mock something up, so I am. And I'm going to have to do more research to be able to integrate some of the technology, things like geothermal, solar panels, etc. So that's my directive. So that's part of where I'm going with this. And so I'm trying to go for really energy efficient as well as space efficient and construction efficient. So a couple ways that you do that is you keep your plumbing fairly centralized. I've got a cluster over here, and then I can run a line right over here. That simplifies your plumbing. If you keep your layout simple, it also helps maintain your construction efficiencies, and it keeps construction costs down. So, and in hallways, you use hallways and outdoor spaces to create privacy. Now, if I orient this building correctly, the other thing that I can do is I could take advantage of natural cooling. And as I evolve this design, this will be a series of different videos, but as the design evolves, I'll talk about some of the ways that you can do that and orient a building to take advantage of natural cooling, and as well as window placement. That's the other thing, to take advantage of natural cooling to make a more energy efficient structure. So going back to this, all right, so I already started mocking this up over here. I have a tub, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to copy, take all this, and I'm going to move it over here. And actually, I've got this set on perpendicular, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So I'm going to Just gonna snap that right there for right now, and then I can adjust things. Right click to make it stop. All right, and what I want to do is I want to move these things into shape. So move. Remember, if you select something that you didn't want to select, what you can do is you can hold down the Shift key, re-click on it, and it deselects it. So this is kind of how I want this. Now I'm going to want a separate commode room. So I'm going to offset, and I'm going to make it 3.5 feet, enter. Here, over. Okay. I want to offset 8 inches since this is going to be an exterior wall. Okay. And then I want to extend it's not going to line up, but that's all right. Okay, so I want to fill it from here to there. All right, and I want to fill it from here. Oh, that's not what I want. All right, to fill it now. It's doing something kind of odd. All right, well, I will do a different technique, so get rid of that. So fill it again from here to here, and fill it again from here to here. All right. Fill it again from here to there. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, now I need to snap a center line between here and here. Okay, that on that enables me. It tells me where the center is, so I need to move the toilet. Now, this toilet looks a little odd if you don't know what it is I'm using. I'm actually using a wall-mounted toilet where the tank is going to be integrated into the wall. So that's why it looks a little bit different than something that you may be used to seeing. I wanted a super clean aesthetic. I wanted it wall mounted. I wanted it up off the ground so that way it's easy to clean underneath. So that's just one of the more recent forms of technology that have we've been seeing are little bits like that. So I have this kind of nicely laid out. Now I need to go ahead and get my door into this space, or at least my opening into this space. So I want to offset 3 inches. I keep saying 3 inches. You may be wondering why I'm offsetting 3 inches. 3 inches is actually what my molding is going to be. So I have to have enough framing here to be able to frame out a door, and then I'll have a 3-inch molding piece right here. So and then I'm going to offset again 2 foot 6 inches. Okay, so now I can trim this up and get this cleaned up. Okay, get that cleaned up. Get these cleaned up. Oops. There we go. It's pretty good. Get that cleaned up. No, I want to trim between here. Get these cleaned up. Get that cleaned up. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Trim between those two. Clean that up. All right. And so I'm trying to figure out where I want to put my entrance to the bathroom. Well, first of all, I know I need some thickness on this wall, so I'm going to offset 5 inches. 5 inches, the reason that I'm going for 5 inches is that when you have a 2x4, the thickness of it is actually 3.75 inches. And then if I have 2 sheets of sheetrock, that is going to be, if I do half-inch thick sheetrock on each side, so that's going to give me 4.75. So I'm giving myself a 5-inch wall thickness to accommodate So that works for me. But now I've got to move these vanities. So I hit move. I select what I want to move. If I select things I don't want to move, I just hold down the shift key, right click after I've selected, I pick a base point, and I shift over to where I want it to be. So now I have my wall thickness integrated into there. So I'm not sure if I want my entrance here or if I want my entrance here at this point. So for right now, I'm going to leave it where it is, but it's laying out pretty well. One of the reasons why I have it this way is I can actually do a built-in vanity or storage. So here in a little bit, I'm probably going to expound on this. But for right now, the basic layout is shaping up. Now over here, I actually want to create more additional depth. So what I'm going to do is, you know what, let's do a couple of construction lines. And I want them to be horizontal, H, enter. All right, that locks it into that mode. I'm going to click there, I'm going to click there, right click to end. All right, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of these, delete. I want to extend. There you go. Right click. So I don't want to fill it. F enter from there to there. Right click to repeat. Right click to repeat. Okay. So now this matches up. One of the reasons for, you're probably wondering, gosh, this is a really big courtyard. Yeah, it is. Part of this is going to be covered. And one of the reasons why, especially for a small plan, one of the reasons to do that is actually if you integrate living space, if you look at Frank Lloyd Wright's Usonian houses, you'll see that he expands his space by integrating outdoor spaces to the usage of interior spaces. So and I actually plan on putting an outdoor fireplace inside this space. So this space could be used in our climate 3/4 of the year. I'm going to be doing some other things to make it more comfortable also during the summer. Like if I have a fountain out here through natural evaporation, it will help cool the space. I can also put up misters inside that space. So rather than having an enclosed space, I'm utilizing outdoor space. It lowers your construction costs, but it also utilizes what you have, integrating the outdoor to the interior purposes. Okay, so I'm planning on having windows throughout all of here, so I'm not going to be using this for support spaces. Another thing I need to think of is I need to think in terms of, okay, where are my beds going to be inside this space? That gets challenging because you need to have a place where your bed is going to be located. One of the things that I like to do is I like to orient rooms where when you walk in, you see the bed. So I'm probably going to use this wall over here as my bed wall. But I'm also going to need closets. And rather than a walk-in closet, I'm actually going to do a wall closet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these lines and extend them up and integrate a wall closet into this area. So this is actually a pretty easy procedure. I'm going to say F, enter for fillet. I'm going to take this up here, right click to repeat, this up here. Okay, so now I have a whole wall of closets. And if I want to make it 2 individual closets, because you should never try to make a man and a woman share a closet. Okay, and then I'm going to offset 5 inches. Okay, here in a bit, I'll worry about the doors. So right now, I'm not going to worry about that. But that starts to shape up this space. That shapes this up. let's see. Oops. Move that over. Okay, so let me show you how I go about making a door. I'm going to do a line. I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to make a 3-foot door. So 3 feet, enter. Right click to complete. Actually, I think I got that wrong. Delete, it's crooked. So I'm going to go to my perpendicular. Okay, let's try this again. So L, enter for line, start point, pull up, 3 feet, enter. Right click to complete. Right click to repeat. Over 3 feet, enter. Right click. Going to take a circle. Here, up, right click. We're going to trim. Oops. Trim. Right click to complete. And I want to offset 1 inch. That's going to be my door thickness. And if you look closer, I now have a door. Okay, so I want to move from the middle to the middle. Okay, and then I want to copy. For the middle of the space. Okay. Right click. I want to mirror. Oops. Mirror. Click to the point I want to mirror. Pull up. Click on the screen. Right click to say no. And now I have French doors right here. So what I can also do is I can trim. And I have a nice door layout right now. So I also want an entrance door over here, so I'm going to go copy. Move that over. Okay, I want to rotate. I want to offset 3 inches. Okay, so I'm giving myself a demarcation line, and I want to move. It snaps right up into place. I can get rid of this now. Great. And notice how it's a little bit off, so I just do move again. There we go. And then I can trim between here and there. And I have my doors laid out. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to end this, and I'll continue on the next lesson.